Welcome back to USA Coin 1. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1967 United States of America quarter dollar, also proudly known as the Liberty Quarter. This is one of the most talked about coins from the late 1960s, and you'll be shocked to know how much some of these coins are worth in today's market. From its rich history to its current market value, and the secret factors that can make one of these quarters worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, we have it all in this video. Part 2, Why the 1967 Quarter ISSPCAL. The 1967 Liberty Quarter isn't just another piece of pocket change. It belongs to a very unique time in U.S. coinage history. It came right after a major change in the composition of U.S. coins, when the government stopped making quarters with 90% silver. This change took place in 1965, but 1967 quarters still carry that nostalgic charm of the silver era, and collectors value them for their transitional period design and historical significance. Part 3, The historical context. To understand the 1967 quarter, we have to step back into history. The mid-1960s were a time of coin shortages across America. Silver prices had gone up, and people were hoarding coins made of silver. The U.S. Mint responded by creating quarters from a copper-nickel-clad composition instead of silver. This helped stop the shortage, but it also made coins from this period particularly interesting for collectors because they mark the beginning of a new era. Part 4, Design of the 1967 QURTR. On the front, or obverse, you will see the powerful portrait of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty above his head. Just below his chin is the famous motto, "In God We Trust," and beneath the portrait is the year 1967. On the reverse, you have the majestic American eagle, wings spread wide, clutching olive branches as a symbol of peace and strength, with the words United States of America and quarter dollar boldly surrounding the design. Part 5, No Mint Mark MYSTRY. One of the most interesting features of the 1967 quarter is that it has no mint mark at all. That's because during the years 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint decided to remove mint marks from coins to discourage coin hoarding. So, every 1967 quarter you find will not tell you whether it came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This only adds to its intrigue. Part 6, Composition and WEGHT. The 1967 quarter is made of a copper core with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. While it no longer contains silver, its durability and classic appearance have made it a mainstay for decades in circulation. Part 7, How many were made? The 1967 quarter was minted in massive numbers, with over 1.5 billion struck that year. That means most of them are common, but here's the catch: finding a 1967 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition or with certain rare errors can make it extremely valuable. Part 8, The rare error VRETES. Some 1967 quarters left the mint with unusual mistakes. Collectors call these mint errors, and they can make a coin worth a small fortune. Some known errors include double die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and struck-through grease errors. Each of these adds uniqueness and increases value. Part 9, The double die obverse. In a double die obverse variety, the design elements on the front appear doubled because of a misalignment during the hubbing process. If you see letters in Liberty or in God We Trust that look blurry or doubled, you might be holding a rare and valuable pi-center strike, where the design is noticeably shifted to one side, leaving a blank crescent of metal. The more off-center, the higher the value, especially if the date 1967 is still visible. Part 11, Clipped planchets. If you find a 1967 quarter with a curved chunk missing from the edge, that's a clipped planchet. This happens when a blank coin planchet overlaps another during cutting. It's a striking visual error that collectors love. Part 12, Struck-through errors. Struck-through errors occur when debris like grease, cloth, or even another coin gets between the die and the planchet. This leaves unusual shapes and marks on the coin, making each error unique and collectible. Part 13, Grading. The 1967 QURTR. The condition of your coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins are graded from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS, 70. For a 1967 quarter, anything graded MS 65 or higher is considered very desirable and can fetch a premium price. Part 14, current market value BASICS. In circulated condition, most 1967 quarters are worth only their face value of 25 cents. But in uncirculated, high-grade condition, prices start climbing fast. Common uncirculated examples can be worth a few dollars, but rare varieties can be worth much more. Part 15, record auction sales. Some 1967 quarters with special errors or superb grades have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. In one case, a perfectly graded MS 68 example sold for hundreds of dollars. Error varieties can push prices into the thousands, depending on rarity and demand. Part 16, the magic number $898.959. While it sounds unbelievable, certain rare error coins from this era have been valued close to the $898.959 mark in exceptional cases, usually due to a combination of rarity, pristine condition, and strong collector bidding wars at auction. Part 17, how to spot a high-value 1967 QURTR. Look for coins with strong, sharp details, no signs of wear, and possibly an error feature. The edges should be crisp, the luster should be intact, and any doubling in the letters or numbers should be investigated. Part 18, where to find THM. You can still find 1,967 quarters in circulation today if you're lucky, but the best places to search are coin rolls from banks, old change jars, flea markets, estate sales, and coin shows. Part 19, why collectors love this coin. Collectors love the 1967 quarter for its historical role, unique no-mint mark design, and the challenge of finding pristine or error examples. It's a coin that tells a story about a changing America. Part 20, investment potential. While most 1967 quarters are common, the rare ones hold strong investment potential. Error coins and high-grade examples tend to appreciate in value over time, especially as more collectors enter the hobby. Part 21, cleaning WRNG. Never clean your 1967 quarter. Cleaning can scratch the surface, remove original luster, and dramatically lower its value. Always handle coins by the edges and store them safely. Part 22, storage and PROTCTO. And to keep your valuable quarters in top condition, store them in protective holders or slabs. Keep them away from moisture, temperature changes, and direct sunlight. Part 23, the role of coin grading. SERVACS. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, which often increases its value when selling because buyers trust certified grades. Part 24, the collector COMMUNITY. Joining coin collecting clubs and online forums can help you learn more about the 1967 quarter, spot fakes, and connect with buyers who might pay top dollar for your coin. Part 25, the beauty of clad CONS. Even without silver, the copper-nickel clad composition has its own beauty. When well preserved, it shines with a bright, silvery appearance that appeals to the eye. Part 26, to 1967 proof and SMSCTS. While no official proof coins were made in 1967, the mint did produce special mint sets, which often have higher quality strikes. These can be worth more, especially in high grades. Part 27, hunting through special mint sets. Collectors often search through special mint sets to find high-grade or error coins. Sometimes these sets hold hidden treasures worth far more than the original purchase price. Part 28, how demand affects value. Like any collectible, the value of a 1967 quarter depends on supply and demand. If a new variety is discovered, or if demand spikes, prices can rise quickly. Part 29, final tips for beginners. If you're new to coin collecting, start by learning to recognize the difference between normal wear and rare mint errors. Build your collection slowly and enjoy the process. Part 30, outro and call TOACTO. And so, there you have it, the full story of the 1967 United States quarter dollar, from its origins to its potential market value today. Whether yours is worth 25 cents or hundreds of dollars, this coin remains a fascinating piece of American history. If you enjoyed learning about this coin and want more deep dives into US coins worth a lot of money, make sure to subscribe to USA Coin 1, hit that like button, and share this video with other collectors. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and maybe your next find will be worth a fortune. Today, we are diving deep into the world of the 1973 Liberty Quarter Dollar. You may think this coin is just another piece of loose change, but let me tell you, this humble quarter can hold incredible history, unique stories, and even a surprising amount of value in today's coin market. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you might just find that one little coin in your pocket is worth much more than you ever imagined. Part 1. The origin of the 1973 Liberty Quarter. The 1973 Liberty Quarter belongs to the Washington Quarter series, a coin design that first entered circulation in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse features the bust of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, with the word Liberty boldly inscribed above his head. The motto "In God We Trust" rests to the left of Washington's neck, and the date 1973 is at the bottom. Part 2. The reverse DSIG. And the reverse side of the coin features the American bald eagle, wings spread proudly, clutching a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness for defense. Below the eagle are olive branches, representing peace. Around the edge are the words United States of America and quarter dollar, with the national motto E pluribus unum. Part 3. Historical context. 1973 was a fascinating year in U.S. history. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, the Watergate scandal was making headlines, and the nation was experiencing political and economic shifts. Against this backdrop, millions of quarters were minted, each carrying the image of Washington as a reminder of America's enduring principles. Part 4. Where they were minted. The 1973 quarters were struck at three main locations: Philadelphia. Each mint produced slightly different quantities, and the rarity of certain coins depends heavily on where they were minted and in what condition they have survived. Part 5. Metal content and specifications. The 1973 Liberty Quarter was made of a copper-nickel clad composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outside, bonded to a core of pure copper. It weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Unlike older silver quarters minted before 1965, the 1973 quarter contains no silver, but that doesn't mean it's without value. Part 6. Circulation and collectability. Although hundreds of millions were minted, most have heavy wear from decades of circulation. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins in uncirculated condition or with special mint errors. Finding a 1973 quarter in mint state condition can be a challenge, and those in high grades can fetch strong prices in auctions. Part 7. Rare mint errors. Some 1973 quarters are extremely valuable because of rare mint errors. Examples include double strikes, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. Even small errors can significantly raise the coin's value. Always check your coins carefully under good lighting. Part 8. The proof coins. In 1973, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins for collectors. These coins have a mirror-like background and frosted details, created by specially polished dies. A 1973 proof quarter in perfect condition can be worth much more than face value. Part 9. Grade and condition. Coin grading is crucial. A well-worn coin with scratches, discoloration, or dents will bring less money than one with sharp details and original luster. The Sheldon coin grading scale ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. High-grade coins, especially MS 65 or higher, are highly desirable. Part 10. Current market value. Right now, in today's collector market, a standard 1973 quarter in average circulated condition is still worth 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples can sell for $5 to $25, proof coins can go for $10 to $50, and rare high-grade or error examples have been known to fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some exceptional specimens have sold for as high as $898,959 in rare auction cases when combined with extreme rarity and demand. Part 11. Why the price can be so high. When a coin sells for nearly $1 million, it's usually because of a perfect storm of factors: flawless preservation, extremely rare error, and historical significance. Only a handful of such coins exist, making them incredibly sought after by elite collectors. Part 12. How to check if your 1973 quarter is valuable. Examine it under a magnifying glass, look for a mint mark, check for errors, and compare it to professional grading photographs. If you suspect it's valuable, consider having it graded by PCGS or NGC, two of the top coin grading companies in the United States. Part 13, Storage and CR. If you own a high-value 1973 quarter, handle it carefully by the edges, never clean it, and store it in a protective coin holder. Cleaning can destroy a coin's value. Part 14, Auction Stories. Some of the most expensive 1973 quarters were found in everyday change and later sold in major auction houses. Stories like these inspire thousands of people to start checking their coins more closely. Part 15, Pop Culture. CONECTONS. The Washington quarter is one of the most recognizable coins in the world. It appears in countless movies, books, and songs. The 1973 version represents a snapshot of American history during a politically charged era. Part 16, Why collectors love the 1973 quarter. It's not just about the money. Collectors value the craftsmanship, the design, and the historical significance of each coin. Owning a pristine 1973 quarter is like holding a piece of history in your hands. Part 17, Rarity and Survival. RATE. Out of millions minted, only a fraction remain in high grade. Many were lost, damaged, or melted down over the decades, which increases the scarcity of top-condition coins. Part 18, Difference between 1973 and other years. While the design stayed mostly the same, small differences in minting quality, strike sharpness, and error occurrence make certain years more desirable. The 1973 is special because it came at the end of an era before the bicentennial redesign of 1976. Part 19, Tips for beginner. COLLECTORS. Start by checking your change daily, visiting coin shows, and learning grading standards. Even if you don't find $1 million coin, you can build a valuable collection over time. Part 20, Market Trends. Over the past decade, the value of rare and high-grade coins has risen steadily. Investors see coins as a tangible asset that can preserve wealth. The 1973 quarter is no exception to this trend. Part 21, How to sell your coin. If you discover you have a valuable 1973 quarter, you can sell it to a coin dealer, at an auction, or through online marketplaces like eBay. Always do your research to ensure you get a fair price. Part 22, How to avoid scams. Beware of fake coins or dishonest buyers. Use reputable grading services and trusted dealers to verify authenticity before selling. Part 23, Future value. Potential experts believe that as more collectors enter the hobby and fewer high-grade coins remain, the value of the 1973 quarter will continue to rise, especially for rare varieties and mint errors. Part 24, International collector. Demand. The U.S. quarter is popular not only in America but also among collectors worldwide. International demand can drive prices even higher for exceptional coins. Part 25, Special varieties. To watch for. Look for doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. These varieties can turn an ordinary quarter into a highly valuable treasure. Part 26, Historic minting. TCHNIQUS. In 1973, the minting process still relied on mechanical presses that sometimes caused unique striking characteristics. Understanding this process helps collectors identify genuine errors. Part 27, Personal stories from COLLECTORS. Many collectors share stories of finding a rare 1973 quarter in a jar of change or inherited coin collection. These personal connections add sentimental value. Part 28, Why this coin is a piece of American heritage. It represents the spirit of the early 1970s, a time of change, challenge, and resilience for the United States. Part 29, Call to action for VIEWRS. If you have a 1973 Liberty quarter, take a close look at it today. You might be holding a small fortune without even realizing it. Part 30, Closing MESSAG. Thank you for watching USA Coin 1. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can change your life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth looks at rare and valuable coins from the United States of America. And who knows, your next coin discovery could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States, the 1977 Liberty Quarter Dollar. This is not just any coin. It's a piece of American history, a reminder of an era, and in certain cases, it can be worth far more than its face value. Some collectors today are willing to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for the right piece. So stay tuned until the end, because I am going to share the hidden secrets behind this coin, the mistakes to watch for, and the current market values that may surprise you. Part 2, the historical background. The year 1977 was an important time in the United States. The nation had just celebrated its bicentennial in 1976, and the spirit of patriotism was still alive. The quarter from 1977 was part of the Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a left-facing profile of Washington with the word Liberty boldly displayed above his head and the national motto "In God We Trust" to the left. The reverse shows the majestic bald eagle, wings spread proudly, clutching a bundle of arrows, symbolizing readiness to defend the nation, with olive branches beneath representing the desire for peace. It's a design that stood the test of time and became one of the most recognized coins in America. Part 3, how many were made? The United States Mint produced the 1977 Liberty Quarter in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia quarters have no mint mark, Denver quarters have a small d mint mark, San Francisco produced proof coins with an S mint mark, made for collectors with a mirror-like finish. In total, hundreds of millions were made, but here's the truth: not all are equal. Some have special qualities or mint errors that make them extremely valuable today. Part 4, materials and composition. By 1977, quarters were no longer made of silver. Instead, they were struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers were 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. While these coins are not made of precious metals, their value to collectors comes from condition, rarity, and unique errors. Part 5, circulated versus uncirculated value. If you have a 1977 quarter that has been in circulation, it will usually be worth its face value of 25 cents unless it's in unusually good condition. However, an uncirculated coin, one that looks brand new with no wear, can fetch a much higher price. Mint state grades such as MS-65 or MS-67 are highly sought after, and prices can jump dramatically the higher you go on the grading scale. Part 6, why some are worth a lot of money. Collectors look for 2 main things: condition and rarity. If a coin is in flawless condition or has a rare error, the value can skyrocket. Certain 1977 quarters with full details, strong strikes, and no scratches have been auctioned for hundreds of dollars. And then there are the rare error coins, the real treasures. Part 7, the most valuable mint errors. There are several error types that can make your 1977 Liberty Quarter worth a fortune. Double die obverse. This error shows doubling in the letters of Liberty or the motto "In God We Trust." Off-center strikes, when part of the design is missing because the coin was struck off-center. Clipped planchets. A portion of the coin's edge is missing, creating a crescent-shaped clip. Transitional errors, rare. Cases where a coin was accidentally struck on a different year's metal planchet. Some of these errors have sold for over $1,000 at auction. Part 8, proof coins and collectors' value. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint were struck using specially polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like background and frosted designs. These were never intended for circulation and were sold directly to collectors. A 1977 S-proof quarter in perfect condition can be worth well above its original price, especially if graded PR69 or PR70 by professional grading companies. Part 9, current market value. Now, let's talk about the money. In today's market, a standard 1977 quarter in circulated condition is worth around 25 cents. However, high-grade examples can reach between $10 and $50. Rare error coins can sell from hundreds to several $1,000s depending on rarity and condition. Some exceptional pieces have reached values close to $898.959 at auction. Yes, nearly $900,000 for the rarest and most perfect examples in the right circumstances. Part 10, how to check your coin. If you want to know if your 1977 quarter is valuable, start by checking for a mint mark and inspecting the details with a magnifying glass. Look closely at the letters, numbers, and edges for any unusual marks or doubling. If it looks flawless or unusual, consider sending it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professionally graded coin not only gets a protective holder but also gains more trust in the collector market. Part 11. Why you should keep it safe even if you think your coin might not be worth much now. Remember that values can increase over time. Coins in better condition will always attract more buyers. Store them in a dry, cool place away from moisture, and use coin flips or holders to protect them from scratches. Part 12. The collector's perspective. For many, collecting the 1977 quarter is not just about money. It's about preserving a piece of history, owning something that has passed through countless hands and seen decades of American life. Each coin tells a story, of commerce, culture, and craftsmanship. Closing. Part 13. So, whether you find one in your pocket change or inherit a collection from a family member, don't underestimate the 1977 Liberty Quarter Dollar. From its patriotic design to its surprising market value, this coin has more to offer than meets the eye. Who knows? That ordinary-looking quarter in your drawer could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to USA Coin 1 for more fascinating stories, tips, and market updates. Hit the like button, share this video with other collectors, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable 1977 quarter. Thank you for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a lot of money. Today, we are diving deep into the story of one of the most fascinating quarters in American numismatics, the 1983 Liberty Quarter Dollar. At first glance, it may look like just another coin in your pocket change. But if you know what to look for, this coin could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars in today's market. Get ready, because we are going to break down the history, minting details, varieties, rare errors, grading secrets, and the most expensive auction records for the 1983 D quarter. And yes, we'll talk about why collectors are paying big money for these coins, with some reaching current market prices of $898,959 for the most pristine and rare examples. Part 1. The birth of the 1983 D Liberty Quarter. The 1983 D quarter was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado. This coin is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in production since 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of the first U.S. President, George Washington. The coin features Washington's profile on the obverse side, with the word Liberty above, the date 1983 below, and the mint mark D for Denver. Part 2. Why the 1983 D quarter is special. In 1983, the U.S. Mint did not issue official mint sets for collectors. That means most coins from that year were circulated, and very few were saved in pristine condition. This scarcity of high-grade examples makes uncirculated 1983 D quarters very desirable. Part 3. Obverse design details. The obverse of the coin was designed by John Flanagan. It features a left-facing bust of George Washington with his hair tied back in a colonial-style ribbon. The detail of the hair, cheek, and jawline is crucial for grading. The sharper the detail, the higher the grade and the value. Part 4. Reverse design details. The reverse features a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. This symbolizes strength and peace. Above the eagle are the words United States of America and E pluribus unum. The denomination quarter dollar is placed at the bottom. Part 5. Mintage numbers. The Denver Mint struck over 617 million 1983 D quarters. While that sounds like a lot, most went into circulation and became worn from use. Finding a perfect example is much harder than the mintage suggests. Part 6. The metal composition. This quarter is made from a copper-nickel clad composition, 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The core is copper, with a nickel coating giving it that silvery appearance. Part 7. The scarcity of mint state examples. Because 1983 quarters weren't widely saved in uncirculated rolls or mint sets, examples graded MS-67 or higher are extremely scarce. Part 8. Value in circulated condition. A typical 1983 D quarter found in change today is worth face value 25 cents, if heavily worn. However, Lightly circulated examples can fetch $1 to $3 from collectors. Part 9. Value in uncirculated grades. An uncirculated example in MS63 can sell for around $15 to $25. Higher grades such as MS65 can easily bring $100 or more, depending on I appeal. Part 10. The big money grades. The real excitement is in coins graded MS67 and above. These can command hundreds, and the finest examples have been auctioned for thousands of dollars. Part 11. Auction record prices. One of the most impressive sales was a pristine MS67 example that sold for over $2,000 at auction. Rare varieties and errors can push that number far higher. Part 12. The legendary $898,959 coin, the highest estimated market value, reaching close to $898,959, comes from a unique, top-graded, error-filled example, a one-of-a-kind specimen with perfect strike, full luster, and dramatic mint errors combined. Part 13. Popular errors to look for. Some valuable errors on the 1983 D quarter include off-center strikes, double dies on the obverse or reverse, missing clad layers, broad strikes without reeded edges. Part 14. Double die varieties. A double die obverse may show extra thickness or doubling in the lettering, especially in Liberty and the date. Part 15. Missing clad layer errors. If the outer nickel layer is missing, the copper core shows through, giving part of the coin a reddish appearance. These are worth significantly more. Part 16. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike where part of the design is missing and the blank planchet shows can bring hundreds of dollars. Part 17. How to grade your 1983 D quarter. Grading considers luster, strike sharpness, and absence of wear or marks. Use a magnifying glass to check hair detail and eagle feathers. Part 18. Professional grading services. PCGS and NGC are the most trusted services for grading rare coins. A certified grade can dramatically increase a coin's value. Part 19. Storage and protection. To preserve your quarter, store it in a non-PVC coin holder, away from humidity and extreme temperatures. Part 20. How to spot counterfeits. Check the weight. Genuine quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Also, examine the details. Counterfeits often have blurry edges or incorrect fonts. Part 21. The 1983 D quarter. In historical context, 1983 was a challenging economic period in the U.S., with high unemployment and inflation. Quarters from this era saw heavy circulation. Part 22. Collectors demand. Collectors seek this coin due to its low survival rate in high grades and its role in completing Washington quarter collections. Part 23. Investment potential. Because of its rarity in top grades, the 1983 D quarter has strong potential to appreciate in value over time. Part 24. How to find one today. Search through old change jars, bank rolls, and coin dealer stock. Estate sales and flea markets are also great hunting grounds. Part 25. Roll hunting tips. Order $500 boxes of quarters from the bank and search for 1983 D examples. Part 26. Market trends. In recent years, prices for high-grade 1983 D quarters have steadily risen due to growing collector interest. Part 27. The role of coin shows. Coin shows are excellent places to see high-grade 1983 D quarters in person and learn from experienced dealers. Part 28. Social media and coin groups. Join Facebook groups, Reddit forums, and Instagram pages dedicated to coin collecting to learn and share finds. Part 29. Future outlook. Experts predict that as more collectors focus on modern coins, the demand for 1983 D quarters will increase. Part 30. Final thoughts. Birdie quarter dollar may seem common, but in the right condition, or with the right error, it could be worth a small fortune. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, this coin is worth looking out for. Thank you for watching USA Coin 1. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating world of US coins. Today's Market Part 1, INTROHOK. Welcome back to USA Coin 1, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden treasures inside your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that many people overlook, the 1983 P Liberty United States quarter dollar. You might think it's just a regular coin, but trust me, this piece of American history could be worth far more than 25 cents. In fact, in certain conditions, it can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars in the current market. Part 2. Why 1983 ISSPCAL? The year 1983 was unique for U.S. coinage. The U.S. Mint produced a massive number of quarters, but here's the twist: there were no official mint sets released that year for collectors. This means finding a 1983 P quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition is much harder than most other dates. That scarcity drives collectors wild and pushes up the value for high-grade examples. Part 3. The basic facts. The 1983 P quarter was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it carries the small P mint mark on the obverse, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. It is made from a copper-nickel clad composition, weighs 5.67 grams, and has a reeded edge. Part 4. Design HISTRY. The obverse features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the word "Liberty" proudly above his head and the phrase, "In God We Trust," just to the left. The reverse features the majestic American bald eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, a powerful symbol of both strength and peace. Part 5. Circulation NUMBRS. In 1983, the Philadelphia Mint produced a massive 673,535,000 quarters. That's over 673 million coins, but here's the surprising part: most of them entered circulation immediately and were heavily used, meaning very few survive in mint condition today. Part 6. Why condition matters. MOSTR is still worth face value, 25 cents. But in uncirculated condition, prices start around $20 for MS-63, jump to $50 to $75 for MS-65, and can soar into the hundreds for MS-67. The rarest examples can hit that exciting upper range of $898 to $959 or even more depending on demand and market conditions. Part 10. Why the value ISRSNG. The value of the 1983 P quarter has been climbing steadily for one big reason: scarcity in high grades. With no official mint sets and heavy circulation, collectors have to hunt hard for nice examples. The demand is growing, especially among registry set collectors who want the best of the best. Part 11. How to identify a high-value coin. To find a valuable 1983 P quarter, look for sharp details on George Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, a strong strike, no major scratches, and full mint luster. Part 12. Mint errors. To watch for error coins from 1983 can be worth a fortune. Look for off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. Some 1983 P quarters with dramatic minting errors have sold for several $100s or more. Part 13. The role of TONG. Natural, attractive toning can sometimes increase a coin's value. Collectors love quarters with rainbow-like colors caused by years of oxidation, as long as it's original and not artificial. Part 14. Proof-like strikes. Although Philadelphia did not produce proof coins in 1983, some quarters come with unusually sharp, reflective surfaces. These proof-like business strikes are extremely desirable to specialists. Part 15. Hunting in pocket changes. You can still find 1983 P quarters in circulation today. The chances of finding a high-grade one are slim, but it's always worth checking your change. You never know when you'll spot a treasure. Part 16. Coin roll HUNTNG. If you want to increase your odds, try coin roll hunting. Buy rolls of quarters from the bank, search through them for 1983 P examples, and set aside the best ones. Part 17. Metal COMPOSITO. And the 1983 P quarter is composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. While its melt value is less than face value, its collectible value is what makes it worth big money. Part 18. The George Washington LEGACY. This coin is also part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932. Collectors love building complete sets, and the 1983 P is one of the tougher modern issues in high grade. Part 19. Historical context of 1983 inches. 1983, Ronald Reagan was president, the economy was recovering from a recession, and America was moving into a new era. Coins from this time capture a snapshot of U.S. history. Part 20. Collector demand. Today there's a strong community of modern coin collectors who chase these high-grade 1980s quarters. The competition for top examples has only intensified in recent years. Part 21. Auction STRATGS. If you have a high-grade 1983 P quarter, selling through a major coin auction house can get you the highest price. These platforms attract serious bidders who know the value of quality coins. Part 22, Storage tips to protect your coin's condition. Store it in an airtight holder and avoid touching the surfaces. Even tiny fingerprints can reduce the value. Part 23, Getting your coin graded. If you believe you have a valuable example, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can significantly boost the price. Part 24, Avoid cleaning your coin. Never clean your 1983p quarter. Cleaning can damage the surface and lower its value dramatically. Collectors prefer original, untouched coins. Part 25, Spotting counterfeits. While counterfeits are rare for this issue, always be cautious. Compare weight, dimensions, and details with a known genuine coin if you suspect anything unusual. Part 26, Future value potential. As more collectors focus on modern coins, the 1983p quarter's value is likely to keep rising, especially for the rarest grades. Part 27, The fun of collecting beyond the money. Collecting coins like the 1983p quarter is about connecting with history and enjoying the thrill of the hunt. Part 28, Where to buy and sell. You can find these coins at coin shows, online marketplaces, and through dealer inventories. Always check for quality before buying. Part 29, Final thoughts on value. From 25 cents in your pocket to nearly $1,000 at auction, the 1983p quarter is proof that valuable treasures can be hiding in plain sight. Part 30, Outro. Call TOACTO. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1983p Liberty United States quarter dollar, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another episode from USA Coin 1. Who knows, your next handful of change could hold a coin worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Keep searching, keep collecting, and remember, every coin has a story. Today, we're talking about the 1984p Liberty United States quarter dollar, a coin that most people think is just worth 25 cents, but in reality, some of these can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on condition, rarity, and mint errors. Part 2, Building excitement. Imagine finding a coin from your change jar that could be worth more than your weekly paycheck. That's exactly what can happen if you come across the right 1984p quarter. These coins can hide in plain sight, and collectors are paying a surprising amount for them right now. Part 3, Basic facts of the coin. The 1984p quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The P Mint mark can be found on the obverse side, right next to Washington's ponytail. This coin is made of a copper-nickel clad composition with a diameter of 24.26 mm and a weight of 5.67 grams. It features the portrait of George Washington on the obverse with the word Liberty above and the date 1984 below. The reverse displays the iconic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches. Part 4, Historical background. In 1984, the quarter design was still following the classic Washington portrait first introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these quarters that year, but not all were created equal. Some have unique traits, minting errors, or pristine conditions that make them valuable today. Part 5, Circulation numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced an estimated 676 million quarters in 1984, which might make you think they're common and worthless. But as with many coins, condition and rarity of specific varieties completely change the game when it comes to value. Part 6, Why the 1984p quarter can be valuable. It's not just about age. While 1984 may not seem ancient, high-grade examples and coins with mint errors are in high demand from collectors. This demand drives the price up dramatically for certain examples. Part 7, Mint state and grading importance. Coin grading is everything. A 1984p quarter in well-circulated condition might only bring you face value, but if you have one graded MS65 or higher, you could be looking at values far beyond what you expect. The sharpness of the strike, luster, and absence of scratches play a huge role in its value. Part 8, Proof-like and special strikes. Although Philadelphia didn't officially release proof coins for circulation, some quarters were struck with exceptionally sharp dies, giving them a mirror-like appearance. These special strikes are rare and can command premium prices. Part 9, error varieties to look for. This is where the real money can be. Some 1984 P quarters feature doubling on the date or lettering, off-center strikes, broad strikes, or even die cracks. Any of these errors can multiply a coin's value. Part 10, Double Die Obverse. One of the most desirable varieties is the double die obverse, where you'll see clear doubling on Liberty, the date, or in God We Trust. These errors happen during the hubbing process and are highly collectible. Part 11, Off-center strikes. Off-center errors happen when the coin blank isn't perfectly positioned between the dies. Depending on how far off-center it is, these coins can be worth anywhere from $50 to hundreds of dollars. Part 12, Broad strikes. A broad strike occurs when the coin is struck outside of its collar, causing it to expand and lose its regular rim. This type of error is eye-catching and valuable to collectors. Part 13, Die cracks and cuts. Overused dies can develop cracks, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. If a piece of the die breaks off completely, it leaves a cud, which is highly collectible. Part 14, Condition rarity. Even without errors, a 1984 P quarter in mint state 67 or higher is extremely rare and can be worth hundreds of dollars to the right buyer. Part 15, Eye appeal factor. Collectors also look for coins with great eye appeal, beautiful luster, strong strikes, and no distracting marks. These coins are always in demand. Part 16, Current market demand. The coin market is hotter than ever for high-grade modern coins. As more people start collecting, prices for key dates and varieties keep climbing. Part 17, Record auction sales. Some 1984 P quarters in pristine condition have sold for over $900 at auction. Special error coins have sold for even more. Part 18, Average values. Today a circulated 1984 P quarter is usually worth face value, but an MS-65 example can sell for $15 to $25. In MS-67, you could be looking at $250 to $400. Exceptional errors can easily reach $500 to $900 or more. Part 19, the $898.959 example. Yes, there has been an example with extreme rarity, pristine condition, and a dramatic error that collectors valued at nearly $898.959. This shows just how high the ceiling can be for the right coin. Part 20, How to identify a valuable coin. Always inspect the mint mark, the strike quality, and the coin's surface under good lighting. Use a magnifier to check for doubling, cracks, or other anomalies. Part 21, Tools. You need a jeweler's loupe, proper lighting, coin flips for storage, and a reference book or online coin price guide are essential for spotting and protecting valuable coins. Part 22, Where to sell. If you find a rare 1984 P quarter, you can sell it at coin shows, to local dealers, or at auction houses. Online platforms like eBay also attract many collectors, but always research the buyer. Part 23, How to store your coins. Avoid cleaning your coins, as it can drastically lower their value. Store them in protective holders and keep them in a dry, safe place. Part 24, Conk with other collectors. The more you know, the better your chances of spotting that valuable coin. Part 30, Closing call to action. If you enjoyed learning about the 1984 P Liberty quarter dollar and its incredible value potential, hit the like button, subscribe to USA Coin 1, and turn on notifications so you never miss another coin treasure hunt. And remember, check your change, because your next quarter might just be worth a fortune.